This video is just for you, chosen ones. Justice has been served. Divine retribution begins. The final verdict says that justice has been done. The verdict has been reached, and it is final in every way. The courts have reached a verdict after considering all the evidence, and this verdict is extremely important. At this point, they are legally obliged to pay back every penny for the next 10 years of their lives. And this is not just a simple fine. For the next 10 years, they will have to make this long-term financial commitment, which will be reflected in every paycheck they receive. There is no way to avoid this decision because the system has already made up its mind. Even if they will continue to struggle with this burden for the next 10 years, you can go on with your life knowing that justice has been done. Balance has finally been achieved. Beyond the human courtroom, the concept of cosmic justice. When karma finally catches up with someone and the law intervenes, this is what happens. A verdict that is so profound, so absolute, and so completely aligned with cosmic justice has been issued by the World Tribunal, and even those who are skeptical are in awe of this heavenly demonstration. After reviewing the evidence, weighing the testimony of every deed, and analyzing the motive behind every plot, the heavenly judges have arrived at a conclusion that cannot be overturned in this lifetime or the next. This verdict will not be overturned. Their empire falls apart. There is no way out. Am I able to sense that? The rumbling that you feel beneath your feet? Indeed, this is the cornerstone upon which their empire is falling. It has been decided, and the decision has been signed in cosmic ink, which cannot be deactivated. At this point, there is no way to avoid the repercussions. Not at all. 0 to 1. Now that the world ledger has been balanced, the debt collectors of fate are coming to their doorstep to collect their debts. That which they performed in the shadows is now completely revealed. Are you referring to the schemes that they discussed in private, believing that the walls would not be able to hear them? Every single phrase was being recorded. The universe was doing it. Those clandestine gatherings during which they shared laughter, where they plotted, and where they divided up what was rightly yours. All of this is recorded in the cosmic record. They had a genuine belief that it is not possible to purchase divine justice. Could you ever fathom the audacity of it? Would they be able to change the course of history? Is it possible that their wealth, their connections, and their complex deceptions may in some way make divine justice irrelevant? However, heavenly justice does not engage in bargaining. God's justice does not accept bribes of any kind. According to their own self-proclaimed immunity, divine justice does not acknowledge it. Now, the biggest nightmare that they have ever had has come true, right in front of their very eyes. Everything that they took away from you, including every single cash, every single resource, and every single opportunity, must be returned. Not only the first sum of money paid. We are discussing interest here. The topic at hand is punishments. When we talk about repayment, we're talking about a decade of it, which will leave them dry as you watch your cup overflow, restoring both the spirit and the energy. The issue at hand is not limited to monetary prosperity. Specifically, this pertains to the energy that they stolen from you, the tranquility that they shattered, the ones that they prevented from occurring. It was their intention to ruin the reputation. It is necessary to restore everything. The verdict has been delivered by the universal courts, and it reverberates throughout all dimensions. The plan that resulted in your failure was unsuccessful. Let's speak about what they actually did anticipate happening. They were completely certain that you would never recover when they assembled in those rooms to plot your doom. They were very positive that you would never recover. They plotted out everything in a methodical and calculating manner. It was anticipated that you would struggle. They congratulated themselves on your anticipated loss. It was already possible for them to see you helpless, with your spirit destroyed and lost in a labyrinth of bewilderment. that they had constructed just for you. The individuals who were responsible for your planned annihilation drew up designs that were so intricate that they reasoned that no human being could possibly navigate the complex maze of obstacles that they had set in your path. The celebration was premature, but it was already in full swing as they toasted to your coming fate. Their confidence was unwavering, their hubris was boundless, and their celebration before their death. Unexpectedly, you were the driving force. They regarded it as too weak, too trusting, they laughed. I know. Assuming that they were too alone, nevertheless, here is the cosmic joke that they did not anticipate. Exactly the assault that was intended to destroy you turned out to be the impetus for your most significant shift. Something spectacular was taking place within you at the same time as they were busy applauding themselves. A diamond was being formed as a result of that pressure. It was forging steel that could not be broken by that fire. The darkness was preparing you for a light that would eventually be so intense that it would cause them to go blind. This is a reality that you must comprehend right this now. If you are marked by divine favor, and there is no doubt about it, you are marked, then there is no way that any trap, plot, or sophisticated plan that is organized against you could possibly be successful. You are the recipient of universal recalibration. For the purpose of ensuring your safety, the universe itself will readjust itself. The greater the amount of resistance they exerted against your destiny, the more strong the cosmic rebound may become. They were anticipating a victim. In doing so, they fashioned a natural force. They were anticipating yielding. A warrior was reawakened by them. They anticipated having you fail. They saw you reborn before their eyes. And at this moment, they are standing still, watching as all that they attempted to take away from you grows and comes back to place in your possession. Protective measures of the divine mathematics. It is impossible to tamper with or manipulate the divine mathematics that governs justice. It is always the case that the equation is balanced. Every single attempt, and there were many, to drain you financially, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally was met by a shield you could never understand, let alone penetrate. This shield prevented them from doing any of these things. They depleted their supply of weapons. They utilized the most advanced weapons in their arsenal. They utilized every resource, activated every asset, and called in every favor that was available to them. Your defense was slammed against by the full force of their combined power, which was like waves crashing against an immovable cliff. With each new onslaught, the level of desperation increases. Every failure was even more perplexing to them because of their poor comprehension. An incomprehensible concept to humans. It was night after night that they gathered together to reevaluate, to readjust, and to rethink their strategies, but they never once considered the possibility that they were fighting against powers that were beyond the grasp of mortals. To what end, then? Observing the disintegration of their assaults in the face of a defense that they were unable to perceive or comprehend. Their most violent attacks, their most calculated tactics, and their most ingenious machinations were all rendered ineffective by forces that were beyond their ability to control or comprehend their actions. It was a grave and disastrous error on their part to underestimate the heavenly hand that was covering your life. You were being protected by cosmic intervention while they were operating through human channels, which included filing papers, following protocols, and engaging in political maneuvering. Despite the fact that they carried knives to the supernatural conflict, they were unable to comprehend why they continued to lose. The destruction of their colonial power at this very moment, rather than being able to observe the collapse of your empire, which they had meticulously planned for, they are instead observing the collapse of their own empire in real time. They have been defeated by the very mechanisms that they successfully manipulated against you. The very authorities that they believed they had gained control over have turned out to be instruments of their exposure. Those who have been chosen are the ones who hold within themselves this unshakable conviction. The adversary is unable to circumvent the unseen forces that we travel with, armies of light that are invincible when confronted by darkness. There are shields of protection that are impenetrable by any weapon. Neither of them had a chance in hell, not even a single opportunity. Your inheritance from the divine. What took place with you was not solely about financial matters. It was about the things that were taken from you, barred away, and purposefully concealed from your perspective. Your heritage, which was rightfully yours by the grace of God. The possessions that are legally yours according to the laws of the cosmos. When it comes to your purpose, the resources that were always intended to flow toward you. Your energetic signature is carried by the abundance that you present. The wealth that was predetermined for you from the moment you took your first breath till the present moment. The prosperity that resonates at the precise frequency of the goal that your soul is tasked with doing on this body. While they were engaged in their short games of thievery and deception, the treasure that has been accumulating interest in the cosmic bank has been getting more and more attention. The power illusion is discovered and exposed. They built a complex illusion for themselves, an impressively deft use of deception. During the time when they were manipulating your abundance behind the scenes, they said, "Look here," in order to divert your attention with insignificant issues. Revisions were made to the paperwork. Those accounts were concealed. There were breaches of trust. They felt that the trail could never be followed because the routes via which your wealth was redirected were so complicated. However, here is the universal fact that they neglected to take into consideration. Anyone or everything you are carries your energetic signature. It is encoded with the spiritual makeup of your DNA. It didn't matter how deeply they buried it, how carefully they disguised it, or how many layers of deception they wrapped over it. It was always calling out to be returned to you. It didn't matter how much they buried it. Return of things that were lost. Furthermore, at this point, that call has developed into a roar that cannot be hushed. The things that were captured in the shadows are now being revealed in the bright light. The concealed paths have been brought to light. There is a disclosure of the secret accounts. All of the documents that were altered are brought back to their original state of truth. Always keep this in mind. What was divinely intended for you does not have the ability to be taken away from you. Possibly, it will be postponed. On a temporary basis, it might be redirected. On the other hand, it will forever and ever make its way back to you. Cosmic debt that cannot be escaped. The cosmos does not allow theft from people who have been selected without exacting a price that is so severe that those who have attempted to steal from them wish they had never infringed upon the laws of the universe. In the previous year, they carried out what they considered to be the last attack, the action that would remove you from their path in a secure and irreversible manner. Perhaps it was a hidden attempt to manipulate the justice system, submitted documents that include concealed terms that are designed to trap you. Could it have been health sabotage, which refers to subtle interferences that are aimed to undermine your physical vessel? Perhaps you were experiencing financial blocks, which are impediments that have been purposefully placed in your path to plenty. It was calculated, coordinated, and carried out with icy precision, regardless of the shape it took. Divine orchestration is able to control everything. Simulations had been carried out by them. All possible outcomes had been simulated by them. Every single escape route had been blocked off by them. It was theoretically impossible for you to survive this strike, according to their calculations. They did not anticipate and were unable to anticipate. the involvement of the divine. A cosmic hand that moved chess pieces that they couldn't even see on a board that extended beyond their limited perception was the one that moved the pieces. You were able to avoid falling into their traps because to the synchronicities that suddenly arose in your path, the nudges from your intuition that cautioned you against signing certain documents, trusting certain individuals, or following certain advice. During the time when they were acting according to human time frames, the cosmos was working on your side by utilizing eternal principles that are independent of time itself. Their own evidence discredits them as guilty. Because of divine orchestration, what they had prepared for months was rendered ineffective in a matter of moments. It is now the precise actions that they committed against you that have become the proof that condemns them. They have built a paper trail in order to damage you, and this paper trail has become the paperwork that proves their malicious intent. It is now the history that they believed would bury them, and it is burying them. This exemplifies the most spectacular example of cosmic irony. Those forces that attempted to obstruct you have only succeeded in ensuring their own demise. The snare that they designed has turned into their jail. Their grave is now the pit that they built for themselves. Their obsession exposes the guilt that they feel. This is not a mistake. Just now, they are keeping a close eye on you, keeping an eye on your moves, examining the expressions on your face. Keep an eye on your social media accounts, inquiring about both of your mental states and the links between them. An examination of your posts to discover any hidden meanings, finding hidden meanings in your words through careful analysis. By monitoring your actions and looking for trends that could be indicative of awareness, keeping an eye out for swings in your energy that could indicate that you have information. They are frantically searching for any indication, any hint, or any clue that the judgment has been delivered to you. The slumber that is unsettling to them. Some people watch you from a distance, expecting to pick up on signs of worry in your manner, such as a decrease in your confidence, a stutter in your step, or a decrease in your level of brightness. They yearn for the gratification that comes from knowing that they are experiencing the same agony as you are. You are terrified in the same way that others are afraid. A situation in which you are scurrying just as much as they are. Others have already been aware, albeit much too late, that your silence is actually the worst nightmare they could possibly have. That the calmness you exude is more horrifying than any reaction they could have possibly conceived of. There is no more chilling answer you could possibly give than the fact that you are making steady progress forward while their world is falling apart around them. Beyond their capacity to communicate to others, the fact that you have previously been told through channels that they are unable to access is something that they have failed to appreciate. It is impossible for them to intercept through messengers. They are unable to monitor through the use of communications. The divine victory does not call for any announcement. This is the immense power that is possessed by those who have been chosen. It is not necessary for us to make public our successes. We do not have to make a big deal out of our vindication. It is not necessary for us to openly rejoice our good fortune. It is not necessary for us to provide commentary, since divine vengeance speaks for itself and manifests with such incredible intensity that it cannot be denied. They are keeping a watchful eye on you from the shadows, but the cosmic light is shattering all they have been trying to conceal. There is no darkness that is sufficiently black to protect them from the revelation that has been made. Restitution in its entirety, including principal, interest, and penalties. There is no room for negotiation on the ruling. Those who stole must pay back the money along with interest. The principal, after taking into account the penalties as well as the accumulated value of what the principal would have created if it had stayed in your control throughout this entire period of time. It has been computed with cosmic precision that the complete mathematical calculation of your loss has been completed. There are no weak spots that can be exploited, with no jurisdictions to seek refuge in, no identities to conceal oneself under. There is nothing to protect. If it is required, the debt will follow them wherever they go, whether it be across borders, across oceans, or even across lives. The unavoidable repayment of 10 years' length agents of divine collecting are not aware of human limitations or the jurisdictional borders that exist. It is expected that they will be in a position of continuous payback for the following 10 years, which is an entire decade of their lives. At precisely the moment when they believe they have paid off the debt, an additional layer of obligation will be explained to them. They will receive yet another invoice just as they are beginning to feel as though they can finally breathe. Simply at the moment that they begin the process of rebuilding, they will need another portion. The unchangeable law that regulates everything that exists is called this. However, there are debts that cannot be erased by any mortal system. It is necessary to put back what is owing. The equilibrium of the cosmos must be preserved. There is a need to fulfill divine justice. Legal decisions have been made. The conclusion is irrevocable. The plan for making payments has been put into action. When it comes to you, all you have to do is relax and observe as the universe gathers resources on your behalf. It is time to awaken, as stated by the Obsidian Inner Order. The following message is intended solely for those individuals who have experienced the call. My eyes were opened to the horrible reality when I was finally able to escape through the Salvia Divinorum gateway. There are an infinite number of matrices, but our world is just one harvested pod. During my observation, I saw the archons, which are cosmic parasites that feed on human energy. They laughed and threatened, saying, "You will never awaken a single soul." However, there is something within you that is already aware of this reality, isn't it? The persistent feeling that you are destined for something or someone more. You have been selected for this. An army of the most brilliant minds is being cultivated by me. I was able to uncover their one and only vulnerability through meditation, which was coherence achieved through unconditional love. You should feel the connection growing deeper within you. It is not a coincidence that you are reading this. A meeting of the most powerful awakened souls is already taking place in the Obsidian Inner Order, which is the most important ascension nexus for those who are predetermined by destiny. They are Christians, workers who are light. The viewers are located remotely, individuals that are desired. We are all bound together by a single truth. You were selected for this particular moment. To access the link, please scroll down and click on it. Feel free to participate in our group calls, panels, and live streaming that are broadcast to the entire Astral Atom Network. The frequency that you emit boosts ours. The question is not whether or not you have been selected. It is a question of whether or not you will answer the call. The Archons are concerned about the decision that you are about to make. That is the case. The unexpected arrival of the pretenders in masks. In this cosmic drama, you are about to witness one of the most predictable but pitiful chapters. Now, the same people who were responsible for your demise, who were the ones who rejoiced your difficulties, and who were the ones who contributed to your barriers, are coming up to you with their hands outstretched in a phony friendliness. Observe them with great care. There is a nervous twitch that can be seen in the corner of their mouth. There was a tiny tremor in their hand that was stretched. The calculated warmth that never quite reaches their eyes, which are also calculated for warmth. I am awestruck by the astounding audacity that they displayed that evening. This is the intricate script that they have created. The rehearsed earnestness that they had practiced in front of mirrors, to the point where even they found themselves almost believing their own fraud. As they come, they are wearing fresh masks. reciting lines that have been practiced. As they make an effort to recreate their history with you, their eyes dart nervously from one thing to another. This is what they say: "I have always believed in you." They insist, "I never really agreed with what they were doing," and they do not back down. They say, "I was actually trying to help you from the inside," and they mean it seriously. Their newly discovered support is founded on fear. Take care not to be fooled. Their abrupt change of heart, their newly discovered appreciation for your gifts, and their urgent offers of alliance are not the result of genuine remorse or genuine recognition. There is just one thing that drives them, and that is fear. Fear so intense that it destroys sleep and causes cold sweat. They are aware of the inevitability of the situation. The price has been determined by them. Their future has been revealed to them. And at this moment they are frantically searching for a place to take shelter from the storm. Furthermore, they believe that you could be that safe haven. They are hoping that by saying that they are close to you, they will be able to avoid the full force of what is going to happen. Deals that are desperate and come from the guilty gifts will be brought by some. The information will be provided by others. All of a sudden, many people will recall useful things that they could have shared with you many years ago when you were in desperate need of hearing them. Everything is a form of currency that they are hoping to exchange for mercy that they have not earned. Everyone who walks in divine protection needs to have an understanding of this truth. Not everyone who comes back into your life is looking for genuine reconciliation. Some people are merely attempting to get away from their karma. The only thing that some people are looking for is a cosmic insurance policy. When it comes to the very justice that they helped set in motion against you, there are some people who are desperate for a shield. The destruction of the fake bodies in authority. The cosmos is able to see through these attempts to be transparent, and you must do the same. Those who once controlled the narrative, who dictated the rules, and who manipulated perception, are now keeping a careful eye on them. In the past, their voices were so authoritative, but now they are barely audible. Their influence, which was as extensive as it was in the past, has shrunk to nothing. Their authority, which was once so threatening, has been reduced to pleadings of this pathetic nature. The empire that they constructed on shifting sands is now crumbling in their fingers, and it does not matter how tightly they try to grip the scattered pieces of it. In spite of their frantic efforts to tie up the loose ends, the network that they built with such ingenuity is now showing signs of unraveling with each individual thread. Irrelevance is by far their greatest concern. The fear that they previously instilled in others has evolved into something incomparably more detrimental for them. Irrelevance. They speak, yet very few people listen to them. They issue commands, yet nobody complies with them. Despite their threats, none of them quiver. They supported themselves by relying on illusions, which were meticulously crafted mirages of power and authority. Through the use of deception as a weapon, they turned the truth on its head until even they began to believe their own fabrications. By playing on people's worries and insecurities, they were able to keep control. They were masters of manipulation. Now, however, every single thing, has been rendered entirely null and void. Their spells lack the ability to bind. Their deceptions are no longer believed by anyone. The influence of their machinations has been eliminated. Due to the fact that the source of the energy that they relied on has been severed, they have been rendered suddenly and shockingly helpless. This is the tenfold reversal of the return of energy. And as if in perfect cosmic harmony, everything that they have thrown out into the world, including every lie, every attack, every character assassination, and every false charge, has come back to them multiplied by 10 times. They have now begun to fill their own cup with the poison that they concocted for you. You are currently being surrounded by the traps that they have set for you. The eternal principle that governs all existence is denoted by the following. It is inevitable that those who built their power on falsehood will be rendered powerless by the truth. Those individuals who rise through manipulation will fall for the purpose of exposure. Those who exercise authority by fear will, in the end, be defeated by those who exhibit courage. A change in power that is uniform. Experience it. Recognize my mistake. Give in to it. It is now permanent that the tables have turned. This is not a benefit that is solely ephemeral. A transient advantage is not present. In no way is this a momentary window of opportunity. In accordance with the principles of cosmic law, this is a profound and irreversible recalibration of power that brings you back to the position that is rightfully yours. Your fundamental foundations of reality have altered beneath your feet, realigning with the divine design that was always intended to guide your trip. This shift has occurred with the intention of guiding your journey. The systems in the heavens that are responsible for determining one's fate and fortune have been reset to their correct setting. As the gravitational force that is at the center of the universe, stars and planets now revolve around your fate. There is no longer any cover to hide behind. It is no longer possible for them to conceal themselves behind convoluted legal terminology or corporate structures. They are no longer able to alter the results by using underhanded strategies or connections that run through the back door. It is no longer possible for them to exert control over the narrative by means of intimidation or the suppression of information. You are liberated. Those two are bonded. You do not need to worry. Freedom from their sway and control, without their interference in the process. Free from the constraints they impose. In a position where you are free to move forward without looking behind you. The freedom to produce without interference from them. The ability to grow without encountering any resistance. Their hands are tied, honoring the day of justice. The complete course of justice is now being served, which is a feast of restoration and realignment that will last for 10 years, and you are invited to watch it. This is not from a place of revenge or gloating, but rather from a place of profound understanding that the universe always finds a way to balance its own equations. The closing message for those who have been chosen. The following is the final lesson that must be assimilated at the level of the soul by all those who walk in the favor of the divine. The ones who have been chosen do not have to seek retribution. There is no need for us to clamor for justice. It is not necessary for us to organize this return. It is the responsibility of the cosmic law to see that every wrong is rectified, that every debt is paid, and that every injustice is dealt with. They are going to be responsible for making payments on this for the next 10 years. All you need to do is to keep moving in the same direction, with your eyes ahead, your spirit high, and your energy protected, and know that behind you, without any effort on your part, everything is being fixed by forces far more powerful than any human opponent could ever be. Secret plans revealed. A verdict has been delivered by divine judgment, and court change has manifested itself. The power has returned. In addition, you, the most beautiful soul, have the final say, the chosen ones.